Fine, we'll start with the fifth problem. So after understanding all four problems, this fifth problem, it is little different when compared to last four problems. Okay, I'll read out the question. So you have Speed Limited, which is going into a voluntary liquidation on 31/12/2015, on which date dividend on preference share was in arrears for 1 year. The capital of the company consists of, and the amounts have given. So here you have preference dividend which you are supposed to pay for 1 year. So they have told it is 50,000 8% preference shares of 10 each fully paid, 50,000 equity shares of 10 each, but they have paid only 8. Then 1 lakh equity shares of 10 each, they have paid only 7. Now what is different in this problem? You have preference shareholders as well as you have 2 equity shareholders. Okay, this 50,000 equity share is class 1. This 1 lakh equity shares are class 2. Okay, I have marked them as class 1 and class 2. Class 1, 50,000 equity shares, my face value is 10 rupees, but they have paid only 8 rupees. So 2 rupees is remaining. 1 lakh equity shares, again 10 rupees is a face value, but then they have paid only 7 rupees. So 3 rupees is remaining from them. Okay, so keep this in mind. In this problem, we have two classes of equity shares, class 1 and class 2. Class 1 number of shares is 50,000. Class 2 number of shares is 1 lakh. Now, expense of liquidation is 20,000. Remuneration is fixed at 60,000. So here you don't have to calculate your liquidator's remuneration because it is already calculated. They have given you a lump sum amount of 60,000. So you don't have to do any calculation. Next you have unsecured creditors, which is 2,80,000. Including 30,000 preferential creditors. So actual unsecured creditors will be only 2,50,000 because 30,000 belongs to your preferential creditors. Assets realized amount is given 6,50,000. Next, preference shareholders have priority over equity shareholders with regard to payment of capital and dividend. So prepare the liquidator's final statement of account, assuming that please understand the last sentence, assuming that he has made the necessary call. He means liquidator. Okay, so I'm just writing here, he means it is your liquidator. Okay, so liquidator has made necessary calls which were duly received for payment of preference shareholders. So what is the understanding here? If you don't have enough of money to pay to your preference shareholders, liquidator has to do the necessary calls. Which calls? Your equity shareholders, because they have not paid fully. One class have paid only 8 rupees. Another class have paid only 7 rupees. So in case if you fall shortage to pay to your preference shareholders, you can collect the unpaid money from equity shareholders. That is the meaning of the sentence here. Clear? So they have told liquidator has made necessary calls which were duly received for the payment of preference shareholders. So if you have a shortage to pay to your preference shareholders, you can receive the unpaid money from the equity shareholders from class 1 and class 2. So we'll see if, whether you have a deficiency or not. If there is a deficiency, then how you have to collect the amount. Okay, so I'm going to start the problem here. So we are doing problem number 5. Okay, and I'm giving the heading as liquidator's final statement of account. Okay, so I'm writing receipts, amount, payment and amount. Okay, okay, fine. Now how do you start? We start from the receipt side. Check whether you have cash in hand, cash at bank. Now there is no cash in hand, cash at bank, so I directly write assets realized. You don't even have information on secured creditors, so assets realized given in the problem is 6,50,000. Okay, you don't have information on surplus on secured creditor, so I did not write the surplus, have directly written the assets realized. Next, you don't have any other information, calls received, that I'll tell you how you have to do. Okay, now moving on to the payment, we always start with liquidation expense or legal expense. Here you have your liquidation expense, which is 20,000. Then we write your liquidator's remuneration. In this case, your remuneration is fixed. It is not given in terms of percentage. They have told it is 60,000 which is paid. So it is a fixed remuneration of 60,000. Okay. Then according to the format comes your debenture holders. But since there is no debenture holders given, I am writing preferential creditors. Okay. Preferential creditors given is 30,000. Then I write my unsecured creditors. Okay, so unsecured creditors, actually it is 2,80,000. In the 2,80,000, 30 belongs to preferential creditors. So actual unsecured creditors is only 2,50,000. Okay. Then as per your format comes your preference shareholder. Now when you are writing your preference shareholder, remember we write capital as well as we write your dividend. So once you have reached at this stage, check whether you have available balance or not. Because preference shareholders given in the problem is, see they have told it is 50,000, 8% preference shares of 10 each. So 50,000 into 10, 5 lakh is a capital that you have to pay, and you have to pay 8% dividend. So check whether you have that much of amount or not. How do you check? You basically take the total of your receipts minus total of the payment. So 6,50,000 minus 20,000 minus 60 minus 30 minus 2,50,000. You have only 2,90,000. But remember you have to pay them 5 lakh capital and 8% dividend. So you have a deficiency. You have a shortage where you cannot pay to your preference shareholders. So in this case, what does a liquidator do? The liquidator will have to receive the uncalled payment or uncalled money that he has not received from the equity shareholders. So please listen to this note carefully, how you have to calculate it. Okay, I will just tell you how we have to do the calculation. So the calculation is calculation of deficit amount or shortage amount. Okay, you can tell anything. Calculation of deficit amount that is to be paid to preference shareholders. Okay, calculation of deficit amount to be paid to the preference shareholders. Now first we'll tell how much is the available balance that we have. Okay, so I'm just writing it as directly available balance in the problem. How do you calculate your available balance? That is your basically receipts minus payment. So that is 6,50,000 minus 20 minus 60 minus 30 minus 2,50,000. So you get your available balance to be only 2,90,000. Okay. How much is the actual amount to pay for preference shareholders? Actual amount to pay for preference shareholders, remember you have to pay both amounts. One is capital and the other one is dividend. How much is the capital? 50,000 preference shares of 10 each, so it is 5 lakh. And they have told you dividend in arrear is for 1 year. So 5 lakh into 8% is the dividend payment. So 5 lakh 8% is 40,000. So totally how much should you pay to your preference shareholders? You should pay 5,40,000. Okay. So how much is the deficiency? 2,90,000 minus 5,40,000. So total deficiency for preference shareholder is 2,50,000. Okay. Now how did I arrive at this amount? You could have directly finished your... Now how do we finish the problem? After writing all this, if we don't have enough of payment, we write the balancing figure as your preference shareholders and we close the problem. But here we are not doing that. We are not writing the balancing figure. Why? Because in the problem they have given you a statement telling that liquidator can make the necessary call. And here, since your two classes of equity shareholders have not paid fully 10 rupees, you can ask them to pay the extra amount. And with that extra amount, you can pay to your preference shareholders. That is why I have not stopped the problem here. and that is why we are doing this working note. So what did I do? First I have taken how much is the balance available with me. How do you do this? Receipts minus payment. So available balance is 2,90,000. Then how much I am supposed to pay for the preference shareholders? Capital I should pay 5 lakh, dividend I should pay 40,000. So totally I am supposed to pay 5,40,000. But available is only 2,90,000. So how much is the deficiency? Deficiency is 2,50,000. From where will I receive this 2,50,000? From the equity shareholders. Clear? Because they have to pay more money. They have paid only 8 rupees and 7 rupees in place of 10. So I can take the extra money from the equity shareholders. So this 2,50,000 will be called as the deficit amount to be paid. To be paid to whom? To be paid to your preference shareholders. That is 2,50,000. Okay. Now how do you raise this 2,50,000? That we'll see in the next working note. Okay. So this is working note number 2 and this is working note number 1. Now we'll see how do you raise this 2,50,000. For raising this 2,50,000, first we have to calculate what is the total deficiency. Okay. Now this is a basic step on how you do. Whenever you are raising your deficit amount, you should always calculate the total deficiency. When I tell total deficiency, it is for both, for the preference shareholders as well as for the equity shareholders. Okay. So I'll tell you how you have to do. So here the deficiency to preference shareholders. How much is the deficiency to preference shareholders? 2,50,000. Okay. Remember, after preference shareholders, we should also pay to the equity shareholders. So we'll also calculate how much will be the deficiency to equity shareholders. This is class 1 equity shares. Okay. And we'll also calculate how much is the deficiency to equity shareholders, and this is for class 2. Because after your preference shareholders, remember we have to pay to your equity shareholders. So we are calculating the total deficiency for both the shareholders. That is why I have written preference as well as equity. So first calculate how much is it for class 1 and how much is it for class 2. How do you calculate that? Same thing. See, class 1, how many equity shares you have? 50,000 of rupees 10 each, but they have paid only 8. 1 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each, but they have paid only 7. So for first class it will be 50,000 equity shares into 8. For the second class it will be 1 lakh equity shares into 7. Okay, they have paid only 8 and 7, so multiply it with only 8 and 7. So you get here 4 lakh and here you get 7 lakh. So how much is the total deficiency now? The total deficiency is 13,50,000. Okay, this will be called as my total deficiency. Total deficiency for how many shares? 50,000 and 1 lakh. So total deficiency for 1,50,000 shares, it is 13,50,000. Okay, please understand this concept. Like these questions you get it for 15 marks. Okay, not for 5 marks. So what did I do? I had calculate how much is the deficiency for preference shareholders. So I know I have to pay them 2,50,000. From where will you pay this 2,50,000? Definitely from the equity shareholders, because they are the owners. Second reason, they have not paid the full amount. One group has paid only 8 rupees, second group has paid only 7 rupees. So I will ask them to give the extra amount. Before going for that, you should calculate how much is the total deficiency. So total deficiency means amount that you have to pay to the preference shareholders as well as to the equity shareholders. Preference shareholders, I know I should pay 2,50,000. Equity shareholders, class 1, total number of shares is 50,000. Paid up value is 8 rupees, so 4 lakh. Class 2, number of shares is 1 lakh. Paid up is 7, so it is 7 lakh. So the total deficiency for how many shares? 1 lakh plus 50, 1,50,000 shares. The total deficiency is 13,50,000. So therefore, how much is it for 1 share? Therefore, deficiency per share or for 1 share, how will you calculate? 13,50,000 divided by 1,50,000. So it is rupees 13,50,000 divided by 1,50,000, you get 9 rupees. So it is 9 rupees per share is the deficiency. Okay, if you calculate per share only, you will be able to know how much you have to claim from class 1 and how much you have to claim from class 2. Otherwise you will not know. So after calculating the total deficiency for 1,50,000 shares, you have to find out how much is it for per share. How will you do for per share? Total value 13,50,000 divided by number of shares 1,50,000. So it is 9 rupees per share is the deficiency. Okay, 13,50,000 is for 1,50,000 share. Therefore, for one share, the equity shareholders should pay 9 rupees. Now, having 9 rupees, we have to do the further calculation. So how will you do the further calculation? First, I will do for class 1 and then I will do for class 2. So I am writing here as class 1 equity shares who have how many shares? It is only 50,000 shares and they have paid only 8 rupees. Okay, remember that is class 1. 50,000 shares at rupees 8. So how much is the deficiency per share that we have calculated? Deficiency per share that we have calculated is 9 rupees minus how much is the amount that they have already paid? Already paid is 8 rupees. So 9 minus 8 is 1. So therefore this 1 rupee should be collected. So to be collected, I will write it as to be collected from equity shareholders. Clear? I will not collect 10 rupees. I will collect only 1 rupee from first class of equity shareholders. So 1 rupee per share. Therefore for 50,000 shares, it will be 50,000 into 1. So totally I have to collect 50,000 rupees from class 1 group of equity shareholders. Same calculation will do for class 2. You will understand. Okay. In class 2 what happens? How many shares we have? 1 lakh shares we have. Okay. And how much is the amount that they have paid? They have paid 7 rupees already. So how do you start? You start by writing deficiency per share. Deficiency per share is 9 rupees minus already paid. How much they have already paid? This group have already paid 7 rupees. So 9 minus 7 is 2 rupees. So 2 rupees should be collected from your class 2 equity shareholders. Okay. So it is 2 rupees per share. Therefore, how many shares are there? 1 lakh shares are there. So 1 lakh shares into rupees 2 will give you 2 lakh. Clear? So you have collected 2 lakh rupees from class 2 and 50,000 from class 1. So with 2 lakh 50,000, to whom can you pay? You will be able to pay to your preference shareholders, because the deficit amount that we were expecting is 2 lakh 50. And how did you raise this 2 lakh 50? By collecting from your equity shareholders. Okay, you will not collect entirely 2 rupees here and entirely 3 rupees here. You will only collect what is the amount required. Okay, the balance amount we